Hey guys, what is up? This is Stephanie, aka the Limitless Babe, reminding you today and every day that you are limitless. So today I wanted to go live just because I haven't put anything out for you guys in a long time. It's been a couple of months since I really sat down and recorded something thoughtfully and mindfully. And I also just didn't really have the time to go through the whole, record, upload, struggle with my computer, fighting with memory, and all those things. So I figured, let's just do live. Let's just get it over with. Let's get the message out. So, as you may or may not be able to tell, I am still sick. Uh, quick life update. My daughter, as you guys may or may not know, she's 3. She's in her first year of school, pre K 3, and it is a lot of fun. To all the mothers out there that ever told me, wait till your kid is in their first year of school, wait until you see that the whole house will get sick constantly in those first few months. You guys were right. It's been fun. Thankfully, knock on wood, we're both doing well right now, but it's just been one thing after the next after the next. And I still have a bit of a stuffy nose. And so I might have to like pause and go blow my nose. And I apologize in advance. But that's life and we can all survive. So, anyway, the topic for today, as you may or may not see from, I think I put it up there, uh, is gratitude. Well, I don't think I wrote that it was gratitude, but it is how to boost your mood, right? So, how to quickly improve your mood. And what is my number one tip for shifting your energy, your vibration, getting yourself into that better mind space when you know and you just feel in your soul and your heart, huh, I'm off. I know me and I'm feeling off today. So, I kind of just already gave you guys the answer. This is a topic that I have touched on actually in my very first video back in 2021. It was, I believe, called Gratitude, How to Live Happier 1, 2, 3. So if you haven't checked that video out, check it out because there I'm going to go more in depth in what I'm going to talk about today. Basically, today, I want to bring this topic back to light because, again, it's been over 2 years since we talked about it. But beyond that, this is a topic that's just always going to be relevant. It's always going to be something that we're going to have to recheck in with. It's not something that it's a one and done. I've learned it. That's it. I'm good. This is something that's just always going to be super duper valuable. And unfortunately, it's not something that you're just going to know you need to do. This is something that you're going to have to be mindful with and check in with your body every so often and say, how am I feeling today? And that's I think where we are right now. That's why I decided to make this video is because over the last week, let's be real, being sick over the last 2 months and taking care of my daughter and just having a million and one things on my plate that I am juggling for myself and for everybody else. It's very easy for us to fall into this pit of just yuck and mundane and a rut and chaos. And I'm super grateful. The code word of today, grateful, gratitude. I am super grateful that I do have this practice of mindfulness and self awareness that even though I'm never going to be perfect, none of us are ever going to be perfect, right? I have at least enough awareness to recognize, okay, girl, like you're off. Something is not all right. Let's tap in, let's check in, let's go back to what we know works. Let's rewind a little bit and recalibrate. So, again, my number one tip, as I already said, because I spilled the beans because I don't know how to be mysterious, um, my number one tip for how to boost your mood, how to get yourself out of a rut, how to shift your energy when you're feeling that dip, that ebb and flow, that dip that you don't want, is always, always, hands down, going to be to start back your gratitude practice. Okay, so now you guys know what we're talking about. Let's get into a little bit of the why, the how, all the things. So let's be very clear, okay? Um, being in a good mood and being happy and being positive and joyful and all those things, for some people, it does come just naturally, but not for everybody, right? And it's not just those lucky people that get to experience this. It's not magic that, oh, well, one day I'm just going to magically wake up. I'm going to do all this inner work. And one day, what is this hair? It's driving me nuts. And one day, I'm going to magically wake up and nothing is going to phase me. And I'm always going to be happy and I'm always going to be positive and in a good mood. And I'm just going to be so enlightened and zen. Like, listen, that's not it. Okay. I'm going to tell you, it's still there. Just you try to ignore it and I will try to ignore it. But happiness, positivity, and joy are the product of one thing, and that is your decision. You get to decide if you get to be happy. You get to decide every day, what is my mood going to be today? And listen, that doesn't mean that other things are not going on around you. That doesn't mean that there might not be chaos around you, right? Like, I need you guys to understand that this is a very intentional act. This is something that you have to be super aware of. The fact that regardless of what is going on around you that you cannot control, the only thing that you get to control and that you are blessed to control is right here in the center, and that is you. That's your choices, that's your decisions, that's your mind, okay? Sorry guys, like I said, not feeling great and that tickle is real. So, where was I? I forget. Well, you get to decide for you, but I had a thought that just popped into my brain that I really wanted to focus on for you guys. Our minds, like, we are not the slave to our minds. Contrary to what you may think. You think, "Oh, like, I just have an overactive mind. My mind is running rampant." Yes, listen, I get that. I understand. It's very easy for that to happen. But to a certain degree, you also have control over the thoughts that you have. And even when you feel out of control of those thoughts, the simple practice of you verbalizing what you want to think is going to help shift your mind. So now let's get back into the topic of gratitude, okay? Gratitude is the simple act of choosing. And again, here we are with that word choosing, actively choosing to be thankful for the things that come into your life, the things, the people, the circumstances, okay? And this is the big things, the little things. It doesn't have to just be, oh, when grand gestures happen for me, that's when I'll be grateful. Or when I achieve this, that's when I'll be grateful. No, you know what? You get to be grateful for waking up in the morning and taking your first breath. You get to be grateful for having electricity to keep you warm in your house, or having heat, for your family. You get to be grateful for this is my favorite example because it's so true. And let's think about like how undervalued it is and underrated it is. But even when you get that really great parking spot at the supermarket, like that's awesome. That's something to be grateful for. When someone gestures to let you go when they don't have to, that's something to be grateful for. And actually, I want to rewind a second. When someone gestures to let you go and you do have the right of way, something to be grateful for. I want us to get out of this trap because I know I get stuck there sometimes of entitlement and thinking, oh, well, I deserve this, or oh, that's just what's supposed to happen. Listen, no one owes you anything. Okay. Now, does that mean that people in an ideal perfect world would act a certain way and would have a certain level of respect for each other? Absolutely, right? But ultimately, at the end of the day, just like we have choices in life, other people have choices. And anytime anyone does anything kind for us, that is something that we could, would, and as much as I hate this word, should be grateful for because no one owes you anything. Okay. All the big, little, mundane, exceptional things that happen in your life that you can actively choose to be grateful for. Okay. And I'm going to tell you right now, how do I start this? Um, First thing in the morning when I wake up, I either say it in my mind or verbally. I like when I say it verbally, but sometimes, when you're just like so tired that you just can't speak yet, sometimes that happens. But as soon as I wake up, I say, thank you, Lord, for your favor. And then here's a tip that I learned from my very dear friend, Goddess of Practicality, Christelle Robinson. Check her out if you don't already. She's definitely on Instagram. I don't remember if she's on YouTube, but she's definitely on Instagram, Goddess of Practicality. Amazing human design reader. She taught me to every day say, the universe loves me. I mean, I'm being mild with it right now. Like, dude, like I yell, like when I say this with my daughter every morning, like we yell it, okay? Like we really like make sure, like, universe, you hear me, okay, cool, because you love me. I am claiming that. I am putting that out there. I am saying that I receive this. Okay, because good things are going to come my way. I know that great things are coming. I'm already grateful that something great did happen. I woke up and I recognize that great things are coming. Okay. And I don't want you guys to trip up on my verbiage and my choice of proper nouns, right? Like, obviously If you've been following me, you know God is a big part of my life, okay? I can't imagine a life or a world without him, okay? And um that doesn't mean that that has to be what it is for you. Whenever I say God, if that does not resonate for you for whatever reason, because I respect your right to your beliefs, right? If God doesn't resonate, substitute it. Substitute it with another word: universe, source, Buddha, Allah. You guys know I like to run off of all these. If you have more that you want me to add that you would like me to be a little more inclusive with when I give this speech, please feel free to drop them in the comments. And actually, while I have a minute, because I always forget to do this, please, if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, to hit that bell for notifications, give this video a like, comment, talk to me, communicate with me, tell me what you guys want to know, because the only way I can give you what you need is if you tell me what you want. Fair? Okay. So let's get back. So when I say, don't get tripped up on the verbiage, don't get tripped up on the verbiage, okay? You substitute for whatever you need. But first thing in the morning, it's important that we start just becoming very aware and practicing, letting that be the first thought of the day. That's why I like doing it as soon as my eyes open. Thank you, Lord, for your favor. The universe loves me. And again, like I said before, this is not going to happen by magic. You're not magically going to wake up one day and just start doing this. It's going to be a practice. A practice is something that gets developed and turns into a habit. Okay. But you have to make conscious decisions to do these things. And at first, it might feel challenging. At first, you're going to forget, right? And that's okay. Tips on ways that I like to remind myself: I use Post-its. I will put Post-its all over my house if I have to. Like, I'll put them on my computer, I'll put them on my phone, I'll put them on my mirror in the bathroom. On my favorite place to put them is actually, like the door frame. I'll put them right on the door frame eye level, so that as I'm walking in and out of a room, I'll be like, oh yeah, that's right, I have to do that. So that's a really great tip, to remember these things. Also, obviously, you can set calendars in your phone. You can, one of my other favorite things to do is actually write on my mirror with like a dry erase, a chalkboard marker, lipstick, whatever you want to write on your mirror with, or just put a post-it on there and you just write whatever it is that you want to remember. And in this case, it's going to be gratitude. Just write the word gratitude, grateful, thank you, whatever it is that you have to say. If you have Android, I don't know if iPhone does this because I don't have an iPhone. I have Android. My Samsung, I can schedule text messages to go out. So what I'll do sometimes when I'm first creating a habit is I'll schedule the same text message to go out to myself every day around the same time, just so that it kind of creates that reminder of, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, did you do that? Did you do it? Okay. So these are all great ways to start reminding yourself to get into these simple habits. Now, we're remembering to wake up first thing in the morning and be grateful. And that's how we're starting the journey. That's how we're starting the day. That's how we're setting the tone. Okay. Now let's take it another step further. Okay. And we're going to come full circle. So then, as soon as I wake up, I go into my living room and I take my little journal and I will write a letter to God. Again, feel free to substitute with whoever you want. You can substitute it for universe, source, Buddha, Allah. You can even write it to your future self, dear future self, okay? Or dear past self, whoever you want to write it to. And you say, or if you have a loved one, actually, I like this thought. If you have a loved one that has passed on and you want to talk to them and communicate to them, that's another option too. But the point of this letter, I'm about to cough. The point of this letter is to write down all the things that you remember that you are grateful for from the day before. Okay. And you don't have to do this in the morning. There have been times when I've done it at night, like right before bed. Excuse me. But I do like the idea of starting my day off on that tone of gratitude and forcing my brain to really think. Because I think that's the thing too, that sometimes when we wake up, like you just wake up in a grump mood, right? Especially, let's be very clear right now, we're not quite at winter, but we're right at that cusp between fall and winter. And this is when seasonal affective disorder kicks in, right? I mean, and let's not even go with that, right? Like, let's not give ourselves a disorder that we don't have, okay? But let's also be clear that just in general, as human beings, like, it's natural for us to get a little more like, when it's dark out, when it's cloudy out, when it's cold, like just in general, like we thrive. We're like flowers. We thrive in sunshine, right? A lot of us, most of us. I don't know if all of us. I think so, but me for sure. I thrive in sunshine and warm weather. Okay. I live in the wrong place, but we digress. So anyway, right now it might feel a little bit more challenging to wake up and just automatically be in a good mood because it might be cloudy, it might be gloomy, it might be rainy and cold, and you might not even want to get out of your bed. But that's why I feel like, especially at this time of the year, I like to start my day off with the gratitude letter. And so I'll sit down, get very quiet. I like to put on like some type of calming music, Reiki music, like 432 megahertz music, whatever it is that you like, World Beat Radio. There's a lot of really great calming things. Whatever works for you to like shut your mind off and keep you in like this calm state. Okay. So I'll do that. I'll put a candle on that really like just warms my heart, warms my soul, and then just write. Just free form write. And I, like I said, for me, it's dear God, thank you for, and I just go. I don't worry about it. I don't censor myself. I might throw in a prayer in there too, like, you know what I mean? So it's just a really intimate conversation, an intimate and informal, I want to add, informal conversation with my creator. Sorry, guys, I have another tickle. Mm. So that would be my second step. And then as I go throughout my day, which by the way, by this point, if I've done it right, if I really like poured everything on that paper, I already am starting to feel a little bit more peaceful and joyful and happy because now I'm literally looking at black and white, my writing, my words of all the blessings that I was given the day before. Another thing that I forgot to mention, and you can do this before or after you write that letter, it's totally up to you. I also like to meditate. And I think that a lot of people get tripped up and, well, I don't know how to meditate. You don't have to know how to meditate. And you don't have to do this long, lengthy, ridiculous method, right? Like you don't have to like sit there with your fingers and any type of pinches or whatever and and all these things. Like you can do those things and those things are wonderful if you know, but it doesn't have to be so complicated. I want you to focus on keeping things simple, work smarter, not harder. All you have to do, set a timer on your watch, on your phone, whatever you have, on an actual timer. And when I'm first getting back into it, I don't like to overwhelm myself. Set the timer for 2 minutes. If you're not already there, 1 minute. Listen, 1 minute is better than no minutes. So you set your timer for 1, 2, 5, 10 minutes. And you can have music on or you don't have music on, totally up to you. And you just get very quiet. Okay. Let yourself just get quiet. I like to say a little prayer before I start, like, like, dear God, heavenly guides, guardian angels, talk to me. Tell me what I need to know today. Sometimes I'll put my hand on my chest and my other hand on my belly just to feel a little more grounded. Sometimes I will do this. Sometimes prayer hands. Sometimes I put my hands on my knees. And sometimes I'll put both hands actually right on my womb and just like in a little heart and just like hold and just feel and just get really quiet and let myself just be with no intentional thoughts. Now, if thoughts come in and drift, I allow it. I don't think, oh my God, clear your mind, clear your mind. That's terrible, clear your mind. No, I let them come. And I may gently say, thank you. You may go now. Or sometimes I'll actually write them down really quick because a lot of times when I meditate and I get really quiet, that's when the thoughts of what I need to do for the rest of the day come up and I'll write them down. Okay. So that's a great way to also find gratitude because, again, I can now be grateful that my creator just gave me my guidance for today. Like this morning when I meditated, I was told to make this video. So thank you for your favor and you're welcome. So anyway, next step, and this is going to be the big bulk of how we do this. How do we create it? Because now I've kind of given you what I do after already knowing these things, after already getting into these things. As you go throughout your day, I want you to almost be hyper focused on everything that happens for you. And yes, I use that word intentionally because everything that happens in your life, and this is something that I've talked about in another video of mine, everything happens for us, not to us. Every single thing that happens in your life, believe it or not, even the yucky, crummy stuff that we're like, "Ugh, why did that have to happen?" All the things that happen are happening for you. Because in the long run, if you can stay the course, if you can keep your mindset right, if you can believe in the good, eventually you're going to see how everything unfolds perfectly in this divine plan for us. And it's wild. It's so wild. And if you don't believe me, try it. What do you have to lose? You know what I mean? Like, it's free. It's free to do this. Just try it. So, and that's actually how I started with this. I heard someone else talking about it and I thought, oh, this is ridiculous, but she's so happy and I'm just going to try it. And it changed my life. Okay. And so now, here's the thing. If you just say, okay, I'm going to go through life, I'm just going to be aware of everything, but I don't actually want to actually do any work, this does not work. You need to acknowledge it. And the ways that I recommend acknowledging it are obviously, like I said, thank you, Lord, for your favor. Any and every time something happens that I'm aware of, I will verbally say it, even if like it's weird and there's someone with me and they're like, oh, like, what are you doing? Maybe I'll whisper it under my breath. It depends how well I know the person and how comfortable I am and how much they know about my weirdness. But I will totally say, thank you, Lord, for your favor, and just keep it going or say it nice and loud and proud. You know what I mean? Like, whatever, but acknowledge it. Okay. You have to acknowledge it because also that's telling source, God, the universe, everybody that, like, okay, like she likes this. Think about when you're in a relationship. If you never, if you're in a relationship and you never tell the other person, hey, thank you for that. Hey, I appreciate that. Hey, I noticed that you did that and that made me happy. Why the hell would they keep doing those nice things? You know what I mean? Like eventually they're just going to be like, well, she doesn't appreciate anything. So why am I even doing this? Whereas the more that you are appreciative, the more that other person feels almost inspired to keep treating you kindly, right? And that goes the same for you. Like, don't you feel that way when someone is appreciative and grateful? It just makes you want to do it more for them. And it's a nice thing, it's a nice give and take. It's a nice push and pull. And I love that. So why would you think for 1 second that that doesn't work with the universe and God? I'm just saying. Another big thing, especially if we're going to write our letter to God, our universe, source, Buddha, Allah, whatever, whoever. Guys, I'm just going to say God and just substitute, okay? Because that is a lot. That is a lot of mouthful. So when you're writing your letter, you want to have something to write and you don't want to just count on your memory, especially if you're like me and you're a mom with mom brain and you forget why you walked into a room every 2 seconds and life happens. You want to write these things down. So utilize your phone. Okay. You can put it in your notes section in your phone. You can even keep one of those cute little tiny notebooks in your bag or your pocket and just, jot it down really quick, and just shorthand something simple that you're going to know what it was. Okay. Now, admittedly, I don't do that anymore. And I actually kind of want to get back into doing that practice because I find that when I actually write it down in the moment, the feeling of overwhelm and joy that I get at the end of the night when I review my list is just like, wow, like this is my life. My life is magical. All these amazing, wonderful things happen for me every day. Wow. So I highly recommend that you write it down. Also, like I said, that's going to help when, whether you do it at the end of the night or the next morning, when you write your letter of gratitude, you're going to have all these things to pull from. And it's going to make it a lot easier than trying to sit there and rack your brain. So I think that that's really enough. I'm sure that there'll be more that comes up with in my brain about these things, but again, I just want to remind you that if you feel the dip, if you feel like I don't feel like my usual chipper self, or maybe you've never been chipper and you want to be chipper, try it. Okay. Start a gratitude practice, start communicating with your creator, with the universe. Start speaking verbally, like actually orally speaking the things that you are grateful for, and watch more of it pour in. Okay. I'm going to leave you guys there. I'm going to love you and leave you. And I hope that you found this helpful. I hope it resonated. Again, if it did, please don't forget to subscribe, to hit that bell in the corner for notifications, to like this video, drop me a comment, tell me what did resonate, you know, ask me questions, tell me what topics you want to talk about, tell me about the things that are on your mind, like again, this is your channel. I want you guys to benefit from this. And the only way that that can happen is if you communicate with me and tell me what is helpful. But anyway, in the meantime, I want to thank you for tuning in. I want to thank you for watching. I want to thank you for being here and for supporting me and my work. And I love you so much. And I hope that you have an amazing, blessed day. Stay limitless, guys. Bye.